Hi everyone. So today Salesforce Lightning Day 15. So let's see what are we going to learn today. So we'll review the previous session, what we have learned, and then we will talk about the map collection. Yesterday, whatever is happening, the issue. Yesterday, whatever is happening. So the issue that we were facing it, today we will try to complete it. And then LDS, we'll talk about the LDS, Lightning Data Service. And we'll talk about LDS form-based record ID in Salesforce, how to use, what is the record ID and how to differentiate everything we will see in the record ID. And then we will move on to the Lightning record view form, Lightning record edit form, Lightning record form. So these are the topics that we will be seeing it, and conclusion, quiz, and the homework, today's interview questions. Quickly, what did we learn in yesterday's class?
Collections.
So we have
Collection types in Aura.
Iterators.
List,
Array and
skill map, and
array,
Aura.
Aura iteration, radio
Radio.
group,
Best
as
practice.
subject data, and finally best practice.
right. So we have seen collections, as object, JavaScript, how to push the data into array. And then we have seen best practices, right? These all things we have seen. Now, today, let's see the map collection. So in the map collection, yesterday, whatever we have done the program, right? So what we have done, we have declared the attribute. This is the attribute declaration, which we have done it yesterday, right? So what I have done is name lmap and type map and default str1 equal to null and str2 equal to null. This is the declaration. And then I have used the Aura handler, name equal to init, value equal to curly braces exclamation this, action equal to curly braces exclamation c dot do init. So this is for why we use this init handler.
To load
Unloading the component.
values loaded loading time.
So whenever the component is loaded, during that time, if we wanted to execute any logic, then we use the init handler. Now this do init, I have implemented in the controller. In the controller, first I have taken the existing. From this attribute, whatever is there, I have stored everything into the vmap. Vmap of str1 equal to first name, vmap of str2 equal to last name. This is the declaration which I have done it. And then entirely whatever the vmap is there, that vmap I set it into the lmap, right? So once it is done, then I'm just printing the each one of them. I can use the iteration also. I can use the iteration by using the map. This way also you can print it. So iteration we will see for the map later. So if I go to the component, so this is the component, attribute declaration, Aura handler. In the Aura handler, I have a do init, and we are getting all the data, and each one of them, what are the str1 equal to, I'm setting the value is first name, str2 equal to last name, and storing this vmap inside the lmap. Then I'm printing the each key here. What is the first key and what is the second key? Now, if I execute this app, click on preview, right? It is printing the key value, first key value and the second key value. Now, let's move on to the LDS, Lightning Data Service. Lightning Data Service is a very important. Developers use Lightning Data Service to load, create, edit, or delete. Load, create, edit, or delete a record in the component without calling the Apex code. We use LDS in order to perform a CRUD operations. Create, read, edit, delete, whatever is there. So we can perform all the CRUD operations by using the Lightning data service without calling the Apex code. Without calling the Apex code, we can directly perform these actions in the Lightning Aura. So Lightning data service is, by using this Lightning data service, it simplifies the access to the Salesforce data. That means this LDS, what are the Lightning data service is there, it has a direct connection to the Salesforce database. So it will simplify the accessing to Salesforce data and storing the data in Salesforce database. And Lightning data service improves the performance and user interface constantly. Because right now, all the logic, everything we are doing in the client side, we need not to talk to server side controller. So what it does, basically because of that, LDS improves the performance and user interface constantly. So LDS has divided into the two different types. The first one is a form-based and the second one is a program-based. The first one is a form-based and the second one is program-based. So let's look at the form-based. In the form-based, again, it is divided into the three types: Lightning recordForm, Lightning recordEditForm, Lightning recordViewForm. So it is divided into three types: recordForm, recordViewForm, recordEditForm. And for all of these are the Lightning components. So by using any of this, by using the recordForm, by using the recordViewForm, by using the recordEditForm, by using this, I can directly call the Salesforce object data. I can directly retrieve the Salesforce object data. By using the recordViewForm, I can view the Salesforce account details or Salesforce any other object details. By using the Lightning recordForm, I can edit directly the Salesforce data. I can edit directly the Salesforce data by using the recordEditForm. And by using the recordForm, I can perform edit and I can save the record. So we have a three different form based. Based on the requirement, we go either with the recordForm or a recordViewForm or recordEditForm. But all these three has three keys very important. Either you implement a recordForm, recordViewForm, or a recordEditForm. Any of this component, if you implement it, it required three things. One is a record ID, second one is the object, and then third one is a compact layout. Yeah, right. So first one is a record ID, whether you implement a recordForm, whether you implement a recordViewForm, whether you implement a recordEditForm. Record ID is mandatory for this component. And then object is mandatory. You need to specify the object, which object related component that you are implementing by using the either recordForm or a recordViewForm or a recordEditForm. And then layout. So layout is the one you are going to decide it, how it has to be displayed. How it has to be displayed in the Salesforce Lightning. So when I say layout is nothing but if you observe in the Salesforce. Now let's go to this. Now let me open account. Now, if you observe this, I'm just opening one of the record here. Let me open. Okay, so one of the record I'm opening here, it has a data. If you observe this, the format of the layout is, this is the label and this is the field value. This is the field value. So in this complete layout, it has a account owner equal to value is there, label and field value. Now, if you want, for example, I wanted to display the label on top, below I wanted to display the value. Right now, what is happening, label and value both are showing in the same line. but I need a label to be displayed on top and value should be displayed bottom, right? So in winter 19, in winter 19, Salesforce has introduced something called compact and comfy display density. So we call it this display density. So display density is either compact or a comfy. So compact is nothing but where it has a label and value displayed in the same line. Value and label is displayed same line. But if you select a comfy, what will happen? Immediately the layout, the field layout will be changed. So first it will display the label and then it will display the value. So before how it was there? Before it was label colon value, but right now it is displaying line by line. So the differences between the comfy and compact is so we have a two density display views. This is called density display. So first one is a comfy and then second one is a compact. So comfy is a lower density view, whereas compact is higher density view. Now what will happen if I select a comfy? The label will be displayed on the top. Label is displayed on top and value will be displayed below the label. Whereas here label and value both will be displayed in same line. In same line. So when I select compact, so both will be displayed in the same line. So basically compact is nothing but it is similar like a classic view. In the classic also we have label and value displays in the same line, whereas comfy is, which is a lightning view. This is a lightning view. So this layout also can be handled in LDS. Whether you wanted to display in the compact or comfy can be handled in the LDS by using the layout. So we need 3 keywords in order to implement any of this LDS form based component. We need a record ID, we need an object, we need a layout. Now, before understanding the record form, so let's understand, now we are clear about the layout. And we know what is the object also. A record ID. So let's understand what is this record ID here. So record ID, we know that on the URL, we can get the record ID. So whenever we take this, whenever we open the record, any object, so we have a 18-digit ID which displays in the Lightning. In the Classic, it displays the 15-digit ID. So let's assume that this is the 18-digit ID. In this 18-digit ID, if I divide it each one of them, that means 001. So 001 talks about the object type. Whatever the 3 letters are there, what are the first 3 letters or first 3 characters, it talks about the object type. So if I open the account is always starts with a 001. If I open contact always starts with a 003. Contact always starts with 003. If I open opportunity, right? If I open cases, so we have a cases here. Cases is always starts with 500. Cases is always starts with 500. Now, first three characters, first three letters, it's always decides which object type we are talking. This record ID is related to which object type. Then next two characters, what are the 6F is there? These two characters are point of development, where your organization is. Where your organization is. Point of development, where is your organization sits in. So if I go to the account, so if I open any account, right? So whatever you see that after the 2W, so this talks about wherever your organization sits in. So right now, I'm just checking here 6F, but here 001, it has a 2W, right? So let's go to the setup. And then company information. Go to the company information. In the company information, you will see where your org sits, the organization ID. In this organization ID, whatever these two letters are there, it should match with your whatever the object record ID is there. So here 2W is basically point of development. So where your organization sits in the Salesforce. So what are the two characters are there here? It will talk about point of development. And next one letter. So what are the 0? This one letter is basically they have introduced for the future purpose. It's just a future purpose. And then rest, whatever the digits we have till this point, 15 digit, it's talk about the record ID. Whatever from this line to, right? This line to till 15 digit. So this talk about your record ID. What is your actual record ID? And then last 3 digits are basically it's a checksum. Last 3 digits are checksum. Now we have in Classic, which is a 15 digit. In Lightning, we have a 18 digit. But what is the difference that when to use a 15 digit, when to use a 18 digit? What is the problem if I use a 15 digit? So 15 digit is a case sensitive. 15 digit is case sensitive. In case if you change capital to small, small to capital, so you have a certain ID in Classic. And if you change some ID, small to capital or capital to small, it doesn't work. 15 digit does not work. Whereas 18 digit is a case insensitive. And 15 digit is referenced on the UI and visible on the browser. Always use the 15 digit within the Salesforce. Whatever you wanted to perform within the Salesforce, use a 15 digit. That means I wanted to perform certain actions in the Lightning by clicking on the button or implementing some UI or visible on the browser. I wanted to make a changes on the browser side. Whatever we are doing within the Salesforce, always go with the 15 digit. There is no harm. But this is the purpose of actually 15 digit. Whereas 18 digit, if you are implementing any API, for example, you wanted to talk to other system, or you are sending certain information to other system, or other system want to talk to the Salesforce. During that time, always provide the 18 digit. 18 digit is the safest one instead of a 15 digit. Do not ever provide the 15 digit. 18 digit is a safest one. So 18 character ID is a safe to use compared to 15 digit ID. So always refer using the 18 digit. So I know the Salesforce is saying to, if you are implementing anything internal Salesforce, use with the 15 digit ID. But by experience, I'm saying that always use the 18 digit instead of going with the 15 digit ID. So that is about the record ID. Now let's move on to the first one, which is called recordViewForm. Okay, before I move on, any questions? Okay, So next one is a record view form. So record view form is what we whenever the developer use this record view form, it is basically enables to display the data in read-only format. It always displays the data in read-only format using custom layout. You can customize the layout, but record view form is always display the data in read-only mode. And within this record view form, you have to use lightning output field. That means here you will be having a record view form. This is an opening and this is a closing one. Within this, we will be using the output field because why cannot input field? Because this is read view form. Display the data. So by using the input field, we cannot display the data. Input field is to allow the user to edit some data there. So that's the reason we have to always use the output field. If you try to use the input field within this, system will not accept. So always use the lightning output field within the lightning record view form. Now, lightning record view form requires a record ID to display the fields on the record. Record ID is mandatory whenever we are implementing the record view form. Record ID is mandatory. Now let's see the attributes. Attributes are object API, which is a mandatory for the record view form. So object API name. This is basically my object name. Whatever the API name of the object, if it is an account, then it will take account. If it is a custom object, then it will take __C. __C. So this is the API name of the object. And then the second one is a record ID. So record ID is the ID of the record that needs to be displayed. That means if I wanted to display this particular data, then I need to pass this record ID. So record ID of the record to be displayed. And the next one we have a density. Density is basically what are the layout you want. Do you want a compact layout or comfy layout or auto layout? By default, whatever the Salesforce is there, just I wanted to use the same one. So compact, comfy, and auto. So any of this, you can use it. So these three attributes are important. Density is if you wanted to make any changes on the layout, you can use. But mandatory one is object API name and the record ID. So the syntax is lightning record view form. This is lightning record view form. And then we have a record ID. We have to pass record ID and then object API name. This is object API name. And then close the record view form. I'm opening the record view form by mentioning the record ID and object API name and closing the record view. Within this, we will be specifying the output field. Within this, we will be specifying the output field. Field name, you can mention the API name of the field and again the output field, API name of the field. So this is the structure. Now, can I write output field outside of this record view form? It doesn't work. No. If you wanted to display something, then it has to be within this. Yes, any questions?
Ma'am, so like a record ID, it should be a, we need to pass a hard-coded record ID, or I mean, we can pass the dynamic one also.
Yeah, we are yet to see the practical.
Yeah.
Okay, theory part, is it clear? Whatever the so far discussed about the lightning record view form theory part. Okay,
So now in recorded, you have mentioned last 3 digits are checksum, right?
yeah,
Can I give any values?
no, you cannot give any values.
How they will calculate?
So this will be calculated by Salesforce. Okay, we
Okay.
have a certain programs to convert the 15 digit to 18 digit.
So based on some algorithm, they will convert.
Yes, yes.
First 15 are same.
No, it won't be same. If I take this one, right now this is,
No, in lightning and classic, first 15 will be same. But last 3 digits only, they are having some algorithm to append.
yes, if you see this is the lightning. And if I take the classic, so I'll open the same account. So let's go back to the Notepad++. See, the first one is, first what are the 15 digits are there, which is the same.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
3 digit, they have appended the 18 digit.
So,
Now let's go ahead and implement it. Let's assume that the scenario which I am going to implement, what are the account details are there? I wanted to display the account details. Using the view form, let's take this details. So let me take other account. Okay, so this is the details I wanted to display by using the Lightning record view form. So let's go ahead and implement it. New Lightning component, LC underscore record view form. Record view form. Now, so what I'm going to do is, for now, I'll just show you one example how to implement Lightning record view form. So Lightning colon record view form. Okay, so within this, what are the attributes that we have?
record ID,
Record ID. So I'll take the standard one right now.
object API name,
Object API name.
Density.
Okay, density will see later. So for now, I'm taking the hard-coded ID here, object API name equal to account. Now within this, I'll be writing the Lightning
Lightning output field.
Lightning output field. And then we have a field name equal to, I'll just take name. Name, rating, type, facts. Type, facts, industry.
Industry.
Let's save it. Now my logic is done. I gave the record view form. And then within the record view form, I pass the record ID here and then I'm just using the field names called name, rating, type, facts within the object API name called account. Now let me pass this into the Lightning application. C:, Lightning LC underscore record view form. Now, this is my data is displaying it, right? The same data, whatever is there in the record level, it is displaying it. It is displaying the fax number and what are the type, industry, whatever the data is there, it is automatically capturing it. It is automatically capturing it. Now, what will happen if I don't pass the object API name? Now, I do not want to pass the object API name. I'll remove the object API name. Will my system, will the Salesforce, while compiling it, does it allow?
No, ma'am.
There is a chance because
No.
all are unique.
Yes. it
Now,
will.
if I refresh this, what it is saying that record view form is missing the required attribute called object API name. Fine. So it is saying that API name is mandatory. But I wanted to give, but I do not wanted to give the any object name. Right? It doesn't work. It basically does not display the information. When I say does not work is nothing, but it does not display the information because we have not mentioned any object. Though we have mentioned the output field here. Though we have mentioned the output field here, but system does not know these fields are from which object. It cannot take it from the record ID. It cannot take it from the record ID. It needed the record ID as well as the object API name. So combination of object API name and the record ID, then only these fields gets executed and it will display. And it will display. Now, why only output field? Cannot I write the lightning input? So lightning colon input field name equal to, I'll say okay, I'll say the phone number. Now let's refresh. What is happening here? It's not even displaying the phone number. It's not even displaying the phone number. Maybe the some spelling mistake, that's the reason. Let me take this rating and I'll place the rating here. I'll comment out the rating. Let's refresh. Right? It's not even considering the input field because the component which we have taken is a record view form. A record view form, if you mention the input field also, it does not consider in the view form. It cannot consider in the view form. Now that is clear. Now the next step is, right now we are hard coding the ID. Right now I'm hard coding the ID. But let's assume that I wanted to place that component here. I wanted to place that component somewhere here. And automatically it should capture. Automatically it should capture from this URL and then my component should start implementing the logic. So how can we do that?
Has record ID.
Has record ID. So we need to add only has record ID or can I add any other? If I try to put implements equal to force colon has record ID. Okay, has record ID is fine, but will I be able to see that component here? Will I be able to see?
We need to use available for all pages.
Flexi page available for all.
Flexi page available for all for record home. Let's take a record home. Now, perfect. What is this?
Available is not.
Spelling mistake.
Okay. available. Now let's go ahead and click on edit page. LC underscore record view form.
Custom.
So by default, it is displaying the related list. So let me change that to the detailed. Okay. By default should be detailed. Okay, so right now it will display the detail section. Now in the detail section, I wanted to place record view form. So I'm going to place the record view form. This is my record view form. Let's click on it, save. Now let's go back to the account record. Now, by default, it is displaying in whatever the Salesforce format is there, that the same format layout, it is displaying it. The same format layout, it is displaying it. Account name and label, and below it is displaying the value. Now the question is, I'm not declaring, oh, here ID is, we have not changed it. Now record ID, I do not want to hard code it. So what I can do is I can directly take
record.
We dot record ID.
v dot record ID. Now I'm not mentioning the record ID here attribute. I'm not mentioning the record ID attribute, but from where is it taking? It is taking it from the _has record ID. You need not to specify the record ID attribute manually for this record view form. No need to declare the attribute record ID. It will directly take the information. Now let's go here, refresh. Now what is happening here? By default, it is taking the ID from URL. That means dynamically we are passing the record ID to my component. Dynamically we are passing the record ID to my component. So it is by default, it is taking. In case if I wanted to change this layout, whatever the layout is there, it is similar to the Salesforce layout. Now I wanted to change that. In case if you wanted to change that, then we have to use attribute called density and then compact. Let's see.
Swapnil,
Yes.
default is compact or compact, right? Default.
Default, it is taken as whatever the Salesforce Lightning has. What is the Salesforce Lightning has right now? Config.
Okay.
So whatever the Salesforce default is there, it will take that. And right now we have mentioned the compact, so it is displaying the compact view here. Now, any question on this Lightning record view form? For the Lightning record view form, you need not to declare the attribute record ID. It will be auto captured from the _has record ID. Now, can I write this component outside? Now, let me cut this Lightning record view form. I'll place it here. Let's refresh. The industry, we have placed it outside of the Lightning record view form. Industry is not displaying. So what are the fields that are there inside the record view form? Within the record view form, only those fields will be displayed. The outside fields will not be displayed. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, in this LDS, like we do not need any Apex, right? No?
No, we do not need any Apex. So basically, by using the LDS, you can create, edit, delete, view, whatever the data you wanted to pull from the Salesforce database, you can directly pull it because LDS has a direct connection to the Salesforce data. So by using that, it will directly able to pull the data and display the data without querying anything. Okay, so moving on, next one, Lightning record edit form. Lightning record edit form. So Lightning record edit form component enables to display the data in edit mode. This is to display the data in edit mode with custom layout. What are the layout you want, you can place it. Now, we can use Lightning : input field and output field both within the Lightning record edit form. Within the Lightning record edit form, we can use the input field, we can use the output field. Both will be accepted within the Lightning record edit form. Lightning record edit form requires a record ID to display the fields. Definitely record ID, we have to pass it. Now attributes are object API name and record ID, we need to pass it, and then density. Right, similar values will be, similar attributes will be there. So syntax is Lightning record edit form, record ID we have to pass, and object API name we have to pass it. And then within this, you can either mention the input field or you can mention the output field. So let's go ahead and implement this. So whatever we have implemented so far, I'm going to place this into the layout. So basically, I'm dividing the page into the two sections. Lightning : layout. Now within this, I'll say multiple rows. Multiple rows equal to true. Lightning
Layout item.
layout item.
Outspill. Correct. Sorry.
Size equal to, let's say 6. Now I'm going to divide, I'm going to take this another layout. Whatever we have implemented recordViewForm, I'm going to place it into the first layout, right? And then I'm going to take in the second one, I'm going to take the recordEditForm. RecordEditForm. Lightning : record edit form. Now for this also we need to pass the record ID and then object API name. v.record ID and object API name. Let's take this. Now within this, I'll say that Lightning input field. So some of them I'll take it as an input, some of them I'll take it as an output. Name, rating, and type is input, and then fax industry is the output. Now let's refresh. Right? So this is displaying the account name. Because we have not given the density, it is displaying the label on top, then it is displaying the value down. So account rating, code, these are editable. These are editable, which I can change it, And then I have taken the fax industry as a output field. Fax industry as a output field. So Now, can I save this record, whatever I have changed it? No. Lightning record edit form is to just editing the data, but you cannot save it. For saving, we have another tag, but for using the Lightning record edit, only you can edit the data. Only you can edit the data. And this is to view the data. Lightning record view form is view the data. Lightning record edit form is to edit the data, but you cannot save the data. You cannot save the data. Any question? Now, for example, now this component is in the account. This component is in account. But what I wanted is I wanted to use the patient data. I wanted to display this side. I wanted to display the account data. This side, I wanted to display the patient data. Can I display it? You can display if there is a relationship between the two objects. You can display if there is a relationship between the object. That means there is a parent-child relationship should be there. So if you have a parent-child relationship, what you can do is instead of v.recordID, what you have to do is by using this account, right? There should be a field which is talking to the patients or talking to the other field, other object, student object. So right now I'm going to take the hard-coded value because we do not have a relationship between the two. Now this is student __ C. Now within this I have a email, name and email. I'll comment out rest of the fields. Now let's refresh. Right, student name, it is displaying. Email, why it is not displaying? Because email is a custom field. Email __ C. Let's refresh. Okay, this is the email field. Email.
Swapna, student and accounts are related.
No, right now it is not related. That's the reason we have hard-coded.
Oh, okay.
Now, assignment for you guys. Implement Lightning record view form for contact. For contact. On the contact, you have a fields called account name, name, phone, mobile. So display these fields: name, account name or account ID, and then phone, email. Display these fields. And this component has to be placed on for contact using recordViewForm. And then place on this component, place it on display this component on contact record. Then On the same page, implement another Lightning component. Implement Lightning component per account using the Lightning record edit form and display name, account number, phone, industry. And display this component on the contact record. Display this component on the contact record. So how you are going to do it? So you have a contact record. This is a contact record. For example, you have opened the record. There is a ID is there on the top. ID is there. So the data is open. Now you can see detail section here. Right? In this detail section, I needed two components. I need two components. The first one is a Lightning record view form, and the next one is a Lightning record edit form. Lightning record edit form. This is the, we are looking at the contact object. This is contact object. In the contact object, I wanted to display the contact, read contact details in read only. And then here account details, edit mode. Edit mode. Now the question is, you should not pass the record ID, hard-coded ID. You should not do this. You should not be passing the hard-coded ID. Now, how will I get it? How will I get it? Because contact account is linked. There is a here, account name is there, right? So by clicking on this, what will happen? It will be redirected to the account. So how you will be able to get it? By using the account ID. By using the account ID. So instead of passing the record ID, you have to pass the account ID here. Instead of passing here record ID, what you have to do? You have to use curly braces exclamation. You have to pass the account ID. So how you will pass it? I will give it to you. That is the assignment. So you have to pass this account ID so that the ID gets passed into this edit form, and then it should display the details of the account. Clear? Is it clear? Any questions?
Yes.
Okay. So let me add that in my. Okay. So implement this by using the both recordViewForm and recordEditForm. Any questions? RecordViewForm, recordEditForm, any questions on this? Okay. So the next one which we are going to move on is Lightning record form. Lightning record form. So Lightning record form component enables to display the data in read-only mode and edit mode. You can update it, you can save it, you can create a new record. Everything you can perform it by using the Lightning record form. By using the Lightning record form. Also, you can apply the layout, custom layout. And Lightning record form requires the record ID. Within the record form, you do not need a Lightning output. You do not need an input field. Lightning : output field, Lightning : input field. You do not need it within the record form. Without using the Lightning input field, Lightning output field, we can show the fields. It doesn't require anything. So it is a self-closed. Lightning record form is a self-closed tag. Self-closed tag. And Lightning record form provides cancel save button automatically in edit form. You need not to add separately the coding for the buttons, Lightning colon button. You need not to add those buttons whenever you are implementing a record form. The save and cancel button automatically displays whenever you use this component called Lightning colon record form. Now use this object's default record layout with the support for multiple columns. That means if you wanted to display the data. So far how the data is displaying. So it is displaying in single column. It is displaying here label and the field. Or else it is just displaying in label and below the field. Like this it is displaying. But if you wanted to divide this into the multiple columns, same data I wanted in the 2 columns. That means this page has to be divided and first column and the second column, both the columns I wanted to display, or 3 columns I wanted to display the data. So which you can modify in the Lightning record form. You can modify in Lightning record form. So attributes are few more attributes compared to recordEditForm, recordViewForm. So object API, definitely the API name. RecordID, you need an ID for this, and then we have a columns. Columns is the number of columns for the form. How many columns you wanted to display the data. Mode is specifically like in the record form we have. This is very important mode. Because mode will be decided whether the record needs to be edited or whether the record needs to be viewed or whether record needs to be read only. Right? View is nothing but it has a read only and edit both. View is nothing but read and edit. Edit is just they can edit and they can save the record. Read only is just a read only. Just a read only. So mode will be specifying it. Mode is very important. This will decide whether the record needs to be edited or just reviewed or need to have a review as well as the edit both. Now the next one is a layout type, which is a density. So you want a compact or you want a full layout, that's up to you. And then we have a fields. Why we need a fields here, I'll tell you, but basically fields is where you can provide a list of fields to the, what are the fields that you wanted to display? You can provide list of fields, that is nothing but the data type is a list here. For fields, data type is list of the fields which we wanted to display on the UI. We can provide those details. We can provide those details. Now let's go back to the Salesforce. Now I'll take another component. Let's save this file, new Lightning component. This is the record form. Record form. Click on submit. Now in this record form, the first thing is that I'm going to divide the page into the layout. Lightning colon layout, and then I'll take multiple rows equal to true. Within this Lightning layout, I'll use the Lightning colon layout item. Size, let's take 4. Okay. Perfect. So now I'm going to take 3. Why I need 3? Because I'm going to use the mode. One implementation will be using the mode equal to view. One mode is basically equal to edit. One mode is basically read only. So the syntax will be Lightning colon record form. Then we can use these all attributes. It is a self-closed. It is a self-closed tag. So let's go ahead and implement. So Lightning colon record form, and then I'm closing it, right? This is a self-closed. Now within this self-closed, we have a different attributes. First one, record ID. I have a record ID. For now, I'm going to take the hard-coded value. Let's take the account. Okay, let's take this ID. Okay. Now record ID, and then we have a object API name, object API name. Object API name is account. And then we have a mode. This mode, which is, let's say that it is a view. View mode, and then layout type equal to, let's say, full. Perfect. So this is the view mode. This is view mode. In the record form, we have a 3 modes: view, edit, read only. The only difference between the each of them is whenever we are implementing the Lightning colon record form, we have to pass the record ID, object API name, which mode it is. And in case if you want to divide a page into the columns, you can decide the column. Layout type equal to full. It's a self-closed. Nothing. We are not writing within the record form. We are not writing the output field or input field. We are not writing. This is the view mode. Whereas edit mode is everything is same, but only the mode is edit. Only the mode is edit. On top here we have a view, and here it is edit. And the third one which we are going to implement is read only. Third one which we are going to implement, read only. Only the difference is read only. Everything is same. Now let's go back to the code. Now let's take this. In the second one, I'm going to update this as an edit. This is read only. Now let me place this component. Lightning record form. C colon Lightning record form. Let's say. Right. So this is view only. Now let me divide this page. So we have divided the page into 444. We have divided the page into, this is the layout 4, and this is the layout item 4. This is the layout item 4. Size is 444. Now the first one is view only, and the second one is a edit mode, and the third one is a read only mode. Read only mode. Now for the view mode, for the view, whatever the view we have is, by default buttons are not displaying it. Whereas the edit mode, by default buttons are displaying it. In read only mode, buttons does not display. So default edit, whatever the edit mode is there, for the edit mode, the buttons are automatically display here. The buttons are automatically display here. Does it display only bottom or not the top? Yes, only bottom. Not, it will not display on the top. It will not display on the top. Now, why it is not displaying the button here? Because we have to click on this pencil icon. Once we click on pencil icon, then we can see the buttons on the below. Then we can see buttons on the below. Now, if I change anything here, will it be impacted on the account record? Yes, it will be impacted. For example, I'm changing this cold to warm. And then I'm changing the type prospect. And industry, I'm changing to agriculture. Now let's click on a save. When I click on a save, it goes into the view only mode. Now if I go back and refresh this record, So type is changed prospect, rating is warm, right? And the industry changed to agriculture. So all the values are updated in Salesforce. So now here we are not using any Apex code in order to perform DML operation. We are not doing any Apex, we are not calling any Apex code. We have just written the 5 lines of code, right? This is the code what we have written. Rest everything is layout item. So this, what will happen if I execute this? So basically each attribute has a certain meaning in the Salesforce. Each attribute has certain meaning in the Salesforce. Now, let's see that. Now here, so what will happen? The first execution, during the execution, the first thing what will happen? First, it is going to cross verify. What is this lightning record form? Okay, the Salesforce is going to, first it will execute this line. While executing this line, first thing is it is going to cross verify which tag they have used it, lightning record form. So lightning record form is nothing but I need to display the 2 buttons. I need to display the button but this button is depending on the mode. So the next thing is, okay, it is a record form. Then what will happen? The record ID. It will check the record ID. So first it will check the record ID. It will go into the Salesforce, your org, and it will cross verify, is this a valid record ID or not? Is it valid record ID in your organization or not? Does this record ID is matching with object API? That means this record ID, what are the first 3 digits are there? These 3 digits talks about the object type. It talks about the object type. So whatever this is talking about the object type and what are the API name of the object is both are same. If both are same, then go and check the mode. If it is a view only, so by default, do not display the button. So by default, do not display the button. Then layout equal to full. That means it has to show all the fields. Layout equal to full means it has to show all the fields. What are the fields are there within this object? All the fields should be displayed. Now this logic has written in the Salesforce code. Who is writing that? Salesforce is writing it. They have written the logic backend of this tag. What are the each tag? We have it. Behind that, there is a certain logic is implemented in order to execute the whatever the expected logic is there, right? So now, after executing that, it will display what are the fields are there. Now it is displaying all the fields here. It is displaying all the fields. Now, in layout, we have another option called compact. Now, what will happen if I use a compact? What will happen if I use a compact? So what I'll do is, I'll copy this 3 things, and then I'll add a compact view here. I'll add compact view. So this is a compact. First 3 are full, read, edit, view, and the next 3 are compact view, compact edit, compact read only. Now let's refresh. What happened? Okay, it is displaying bottom. Let me reduce the size to okay, let's say okay. So let me divide this page. till this, it is a full mode. It is a full layout. This is compact layout. This is compact layout. Observe this in between the compact and full layout. Just observe it. If you see here in the view only mode, it is displaying the type, own, website, account owner, account site, industry, billing address, parent account, annual revenue, right? It is not displaying all the values, whatever is there in the full. See here, it is ending. The compact mode is randomly it picked the few fields. Randomly it picked a few fields. It is not showing all the fields in the compact. Whereas in the full layout, it shows all the fields. What are the 100 fields are there? Everything will be displayed in the full layout. Whereas in the compact layout, it will just take randomly maximum 10 fields or 11 fields it will take and it will display. It will randomly pick up. So assuming that, so Salesforce identify that these are the mandatory fields like a type, phone, website, billing address. This might be the mandatory information. So they will just display only these values when we mention the layout equal to layout type equal to compact. Layout type equal to compact. Is this clear? Lightning record form till this point. Okay. Now, if you wanted to place it here, what you can do is instead of hard coding it, you can add, instead of hard coding, what you can do, you can add the record ID. First, you need to add the interface implements equal to flexi page available for recordViewForm and force colon has record ID. Then pass here v.recordID. Right. So the way we have done it for the record form. So implement this code and then pass here record ID in the record form so that it will display, instead of hard coding it dynamically, you can display the values and place that component here, which will display. For example, you wanted to display the, let's comment out this entirely. Or else let me add this in the, let's implement new component, lightning component, record form for record. I'm going to place this component in the record. So in order to place that, I'm going to check this lightning record page. So if I check that lightning record page, automatically the interface gets added into the component. Oh, perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, the code, whatever I have written, lightning record form. Okay. I have just used the lightning record form here and then colon v dot, let's say that record ID. You cannot write here capital R. It won't work. It won't work. If you write here capital D also, it won't work. It has to be format of record ID. Small R starts with a small letters and I capital, then ends with small letter. I'm saying here full mode and let's say columns. Columns equal to, I want to display in 2 columns. Let's click on it, refresh. This is lightning LC underscore record form for record. Edit the page. Okay, edit the page and then what I'll do is I'll place LC record for. Perfect. Now this record I have placed it. Let's click on a save. Let's go back. Now, so this is whatever you are able to see here. This is our component, whatever we have implemented till now. Right? This is our component. So it is displaying similar like a account layout because we have given the column 2. If I give a columns 3, it will display in 3 columns. Let's refresh. Right, it is displaying in 3 columns. Perfect. If you wanted to change anything, you can change it. And let's click on save. So when I save it, it is updating the actual record as well as it is updating whatever the component that I have implemented, it is updated that also. It is updated that. Now, let's assume that, okay, I do not want to give the record ID. I do not want to give the record ID. What will happen if I do not give the record ID? If I do not mention the record ID, what will happen? Now, I'll completely remove it. Let's remove it. Cut. So let's save. Now, refresh. In the record form, if I do not mention the record ID, what it will think is, it will think you are entering the new record. You are entering the new record. Account owner by default, it will display. Though you have not given the record ID, account owner is by default, it will display. But it will think that you are going to create a new record because we have not mentioned the record ID here. This is only for record form, not with the record edit form, not with the record view form. Only with the record form, whenever we do not mention the record ID, system will assume that we are going to create a new record. We are going to create new record. So I'll be creating the new record today. So let's say that a record view form for Lightning. For Lightning. So warm and then industry, type, prospect, and then I'll click on a save. Once it is saved, it will just show here. But will that be saved into the account record? Yes, it will be saved into the account record. So if you open the account record, you will be able to see record view form for Lightning. And once it is saved, automatically it will be showing the latest data because LDS record form holds the latest ID. Whatever you have created the latest one record without giving the record ID, it holds the latest ID. So record view form, warm, type, prospect, industry, agriculture. So all the details you can see here. All the details you can see here. On this record, because we have opened the new record, on this record, everything will be empty. Why this is showing me the record ID, but it is not showing me the latest record? Because what are the information you have created here with the latest ID that gets stored with the reference of this ID. If you change this ID, this page will be refreshed and shown as a new record, new page. New page. So that's the reason whenever you open the latest one, it will show the new one. Now let's assume that I wanted to give the record ID, but I do not want to give the object API name. I do not want to give the object API name. I'll remove the object API. Control S. Let's refresh. If I do not give the object API, so record form, it basically don't know from which object it has to be displayed the fields. So it's keep on going on spinner, nothing. That means it is keep on searching in the database where these fields are there. So object API has to be there. Now, can I write lightning input, lightning output within this record form? Lightning input, lightning output, can I write within this form?
No.
Right. So what will happen if I type here? Okay. It does not display the information. So right now we are displaying the name, email, see, type, this. But these fields does not display here. After ending this is a complete layout. Let's click on edit. So once after save, it's not even showing those fields here. It's not even showing these fields there, right? It does not give any error also for this. So it does not show any fields. So there is no point adding there within the lightning record form. It might accept, but there is no point of adding it. So it does not perform anything there. It does not perform anything there. Now let's assume that right now, this is showing me the complete fields. Almost whatever the Salesforce object has, all the fields it is showing. All the fields it is showing. But I want only the few fields to be displayed here using the lightning record form. Using the lightning record form, I do not want to display all the fields here. Now I do not want to use the compact also. If I use the compact, randomly it picked a few fields and it is showing me the few fields. But my fields are not displayed there. My fields are not displayed there. So I wanted to implement my own fields to display in the record form. I wanted to implement my own fields. So let's take here the attribute called we have a fields. Fields equal to, if I say name, comma, phone, comma, rating, comma, industry. Can I give like this? I wanted to display only these fields. Name, rating, industry, those fields I wanted to display. Rest of fields I do not want to display. Now it is not even considering that, right? It is showing me the full page length. Full layout it is giving. It is giving full layout. Okay, maybe because of this, it is giving me the full layout. Let me change. Let me remove this full layout. Control S. Let's refresh. Right? It's not displaying any fields. So basically, fields, whenever you are mentioning like this way it won't be accepted by the record form. That way it won't be accepted by the record form. For that, you need to implement Aura attribute and field. So, sorry, Aura attribute name equal to my field and type equal to, what should be the type of it?
As of
List.
List. Because fields is going to accept the list. We are passing the list of the fields to the attribute my fields. And then either you can display list or let's say string list default equal to. Now within this, I'm going to specify name, one field, phone number, another field, rating, another field, industry, another field. Now I'll pass this attribute to the fields. Okay. So let's say okay, perfect. Attribute, this is the attribute declaration, and then we have a record form, record ID, object API name, mode is view, column 3, fields. Fields is my fields. Perfect. Okay. So let's go ahead and refresh the accounts. What happened? Why it is not displaying it? My fields default columns object API record ID. Record ID is this one. Rating industry home. Let me take only 2 fields. And then fields equal to my fields. Copy, refresh. Okay, so account name is displaying and rating is displaying. Now, 3 columns we have mentioned. If you take any other field, it will give that. Industry. Three columns, right? 3 columns it is displaying. Now, if I edit this and I make a changes to any of this, what will happen? It will be immediately updated in the existing record also. It will be immediately updated. That means after executing this logic, there is a logic that to refresh the current page. Refresh logic is also written by the Salesforce. By using the refresh logic, it is going to refresh the current existing record to reflect the latest data on the record. Clear? Any questions? LDS, any questions? Record edit form, record view form, record form. Okay. So let's move on. What did we learn so far?
Three types of LDS,
LDS,
Lightning
form.
data service have forms and
record view form,
Record view form, record edit form.
record edit form, record form.
record form.
So today we have learned the six steps. What is the Lightning data service?
Create to load the data, create and edit and a record with the required scope.
Okay, others.
Improve the performance by using user.
Yes, it improves the performance. Others.
It can perform CRUD without Apex. Simply
Cloud
by default.
operations. Yes.
LDS based on 2 types: form based and program based.
Mm.
Lightning record form and record view form, record edit form.
So LDS is basically used to create, edit, delete the record without using the Apex code, and it will increase the performance on the UI. What is the use of Lightning record edit form?
We can create a lightning edit form without
We can edit the records.
Allows to edit the record.
It allows to edit the record. So basically, in the Lightning record edit form, we use a Lightning input field used to edit the field, but we cannot save the field. And we can also use the output field to show the read-only information. How to save a record in Aura without calling the server-side controller?
LDS.
Using a record form component.
How to save a record in Aura without calling the server-side call?
using
Lightning record form.
Record,
Lightning record form without using record ID.
right. So Lightning record form without using the record ID. Even if I pass the record ID also, we can update the record. How to find a component in JavaScript?
Find.
Controller.
Yeah, in the controller, what is the line of code we
Component,
use?
exclamation
component dot get.
Dot get or dot get or dot find.
How to find a component in JavaScript?
In component, we have provided a Aura ID, and in JavaScript, component dot find, and in function, the Aura ID name.
Right. So question here is, I'm not asking to how to get the value. So the question is how to find a component. For the finding the
Component dot find.
component dot find, we have to use
Find.
and we have to pass the Aura ID. How to pass the record ID to IDS, LDS, Lightning
has record ID.
force
Has
colon.
record ID.
Force.
Implements.
For
Implements force.
Interface called force colon has record ID. Homework, create a custom object called dealer and then create a fields, dealer name, dealer email, dealer phone number, dealer working address, subject, and then implement a custom component layout using the LDS and place that onto the some object. So implement a custom object, custom fields, and then display the whatever these fields are there displayed using the custom compact layout using the LDS. So just display the data. Second one, implement Lightning Aura component to display 4 fields from the account in view only mode. In view only mode using the LDS, account number, billing address, industry, SLA, expiration date. Now view only mode, you decided which component do I need to use it. Lightning recordEditForm, Lightning recordViewForm, Lightning recordForm. Which one you will use it here?
Only view. Record view.
Record view.
RecordViewForm. Now implement this requirement. Your page on top is a 12 size and on top display the account details in 4 columns, 6 columns. Name, type, account owner, phone, industry. And what are the value is there? The value should be displayed below. And then below divides into the 444. And then display the contact details here, which is a read-only mode. So this is the read mode, and this is the edit mode opportunity. And this is the read edit, which is a view only mode. This is view only mode. And 2 columns. This is divided into 2 columns. This is the 1 column and this is another column. And here also it is divided into 2 columns. And this is also divided into 2 columns. Sorry, this is not the 2 column. This is basically label and the field value. This is a single column. Okay, so implement Lightning Aura component to edit account and override the edit standard button. Edit the account, implement a edit the account using the LDS. Using the LDS, implement a component to edit the account. And what are the standard edit button is there on the account? Just overwrite it by adding the LDS component there. Clear? And what are the fields that you are going to edit it? Account name, phone number, industry, account number. That's it. And then we have a trial head. I'm going to pin the trial head links. Those are trial head links. Any other questions? We are done with the session.